everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why capital punishment should be abolished. First, I'm going to state off some facts from the deathpenaltyinfo.org website, and these have been documented since 1976. The total amount of executions since 1976 are 1,465. The race of the defendants are 55.7% white, which is 816 of these individuals. 34.3% African American, which is 503 of these individuals, 8.3% Hispanic, or 122 of these individuals, and other is 1.6 or 24 of these people. Race of the victims are 76% white, 15% African American, 7% Hispanic, 2% other. Since 1973, more than 155 people have been released from death row with evidence of their innocence. More recently, there were just 5 from 2000 to 2011. As of April 1st, 2017, Florida has had a total of 374 death row inmates since 1976, coming in second place out of all the states. The top state would be California with 746. And the third state is Texas with 243 death row inmates. Now, the execution by region are 1,195 people in the South, 181 people in the Midwest. In the West, it would be 85 people. In the Northeast, it's 4 people. And in Texas and Oklahoma, it's 657. Since 1976, there have been a total of 95 executions. Only 3 in 2017 and 1 in 2016 in Florida. Many believe that executions lower homicide rates. The answer is simply no. Since 1976, 22 defendants had been executed on death row as juveniles. As of July 1st, 2017, there were 53 women on death row, yet since 1976, only 16 women have been executed. In 2002, the Supreme Court held in Atkins v. Virginia that it is unconstitutional to execute defendants with mental retardation. The American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association, and the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill and the American Bar Association have endorsed resolutions calling for an exemption of the severely mentally ill. And then as of July 1st, 2017, the reason why executions take so long are because it takes many trials to prove the innocence or the guiltiness of the defendant. And so these executions cost thousands to millions of dollars to actually have. With all that said, I will get into my essay. Capital punishment can be defined by the dictionary as the legal authorized killing of someone as punishment for a crime. Reasons why capital punishment should be abolished is because many people are convicted as innocent people who have not convicted the crime. Prison without parole can be worse, and the death penalty is an easy way out for the convicted. In 2017, there have been a total of 23 executions in the United States, 3 of those in Florida, which were men in their 50s. Capital punishment will always be argued depending on the cause for execution, yet here are some reasons why it should be abolished. Many riots and protests are going on today about the faulty justice system. Many innocent lives are being wrongfully convicted. Many individuals today are being sentenced anywhere from a couple months in jail to life for prison for a crime or crimes that they have not convicted. During trial, depending on the evidence or lack of, one can either be proven to be guilty or not guilty. In some cases, the jury debates and comes to a consensus on whether or not they believe if the defendant is guilty or not. Not all, but few judges can lead a corrupt courtroom. Many do not want to believe that these play a role in the courtroom, but race, gender, age, and religion can sometimes lead the judge or even jury to be biased. Another problem that can occur in the courtroom can be emotions. Judges can sometimes be swayed by the situation or maybe even harder on the defendant depending on personal background or history. Many people believe that life without parole in prison can be a worse punishment than death. Life without parole is what they deserve. Depending on crime and facility, the criminals can have a grueling life. There are options of solitary confinement, there are limitations on who they can interact with, and there are limitations on what you can do in prison. Living their whole life in prison could possibly turn out worse than dying. There's also a chance for having a better life. Inmates have resources at certain facilities that they could not get outside of their prison because of the background or for personal reasons. Having this opportunity to better themselves could possibly help the victim's family and other criminals around them that could get out one day and have a better life for themselves. Yet, there are another side to life in prison. These criminals are getting to live better lives than they had before. Again, depending on the facility, these criminals are getting treated better than they did on the streets. Many facilities have opportunities for them that the victim's family does not believe that the criminal should get. Many men are able to interact and do activities with other inmates. Their life is better in prison compared to what they might experience in the real world. There are numerous possibilities of what their life could have been, but if they were homeless, for example, they now have a shelter, food, blankets, and a bed and a shower, and restrooms to use. These things might not be the nicest or the most private, but it could be more than they had before they had gone to prison. Although there are reasons to argue to keep capital punishment, there are also many more reasons to abolish it. All in all, capital punishment should be a thing of the past. Many innocent people are sent to prison or even worse, put on death row. Another reason to think about is to let them suffer or thrive with life in prison without parole. And finally, we cannot let these criminals have the easy way out. In case you were striving to keep capital punishment, keep in mind that according to Death Penalty Information Center that it costs Florida $51 million a year to execute the death penalty rather than life without parole. Since 1976, there have been 44 executions, which would cost Florida about $24 million per execution. Thank you.